Hey folks, I'm Tennessee Brando with the MeidasTouch Network. Kari Lake has been one of Donald Trump's biggest supporters and defenders, to the point that she's adopted his own rhetoric by denying her own election results. But I've got a clip for you guys here that you got to see. She actually goes to the point of saying that they are playing checkers and Donald Trump is playing chess. Take a look at this clip and then I'm going to come back and tell you a funny story.
They're trying to indict Donald Trump over J6.
Well, every single thing they've thrown at him, he's turned it right back in their face, and he's proven to be right. They're wrong. They're just trying to bring him down, and you can't bring down a giant like Donald J. Trump. And I'll be honest, I think he would welcome that indictment. He would welcome a trial. I think he said it would be the trial of the century. I don't think that when they thought of all of that, and maybe during those meetings with his attorney, the attorneys brought it up and said, do you really want this? Because it's going to come right back in your face. They're playing checkers, and President Trump is playing, chess at the highest level. So I don't think they want to pick a fight with him.
Donald Trump is not playing chess with special counsel Jack Smith. This is absolutely hilarious. Playing chess with Donald Trump would be like trying to play chess with a pigeon. It would just walk around knocking all the pieces over and shitting all over the board and walking around like it won the thing. That's what Donald Trump is doing with special counsel Jack Smith. But the funny story that I wanted to share with you guys comes from back when I was in grade school, and I went to grade school in Southeast Kentucky, and the teacher one day was quizzing us on what the capitals of the states were, and she asked us what was the capital of Kentucky, which we should have known being in Kentucky, but I drew a blank, and I could not think of the answer. I knew it wasn't Lexington, I knew it wasn't Louisville, but I could not think of the name of that town to save my life. And so before I had a chance to raise my hand, the absolute smartest girl in the class raises hers. Now this girl got the best grades. She always had the right answer. She never missed, but this particular time she did. She answers and she says, Boonville. And when she does, the teacher looks really confused and almost laughs because the population in Boonville, Kentucky is like 157 people, okay? 157 people. So she missed this by a mile. And the teacher kind of chuckles. She's like, nope, sorry, it's not that. But the girl answered with such confidence. And she looked down at her book right before she answered. She said it with the most confidence. And I thought, this is the smartest girl in the class. She can't miss. So I raise my hand like a complete idiot. And I say, it's Boonville. And the teacher starts laughing. She's like, no, it's not. She's like, sorry, it's not that. So now I'm flipping through my book trying to get to the page where it lists all the capitals. And I'm running my finger down and I'm like, oh, it's Frankfurt. Holy crap, it's Frankfurt. I could not think of that. Yep, I remember that now. Now imagine if me and that girl had have started this group that claimed that the capital of Kentucky was Boonville. And imagine if we made shirts that said, Boonville is the capital. And let's say we staged walkouts and protest in the school to say that Frankfurt was not the real capital of Kentucky. No, folks, it's Boonville. How long do you think the teachers would have let us get away with that? How many walkouts do you think we would have been able to stage? How many protests do you think we would have been able to have? How many times do you think we would have been able to disrupt history class by chiming in to say, hey, wait a minute, before we study this, no, we got to talk about this lie, this deep state lie that the teacher has caused here and started, oh, no, everybody knows it's Boonville. We would have been laughed out of the classroom. We would have been shut down really quick. We probably would have been sent to the counselor to talk to see if we were feeling okay about things. That's how ridiculous it is, but that's how ridiculous Kari Lake sounds when she still sits there and defends Donald J. Trump. But why do these people still defend Donald Trump? Why are they still going to defend him to death? And I do believe that Kari Lake will be one of the last people on the sinking ship that will stay right there with him. Why do they do this? At the end of the day, it's because to admit that Donald Trump was wrong would be to admit that they all got played. And they just cannot bring themselves to do that. They cannot bring themselves to admit that they've been played. And politicians like Kari Lake cannot lose touch with her base. So she's going to continuously push these big lies. She's going to continuously back up Donald Trump. But the fact that she had the audacity to accuse Donald Trump of playing chess is absolutely one of the most laughable things I've ever heard. I don't know if Donald Trump could even... I can't play chess. I'm not going to sit here and say I can, but I imagine that Donald Trump would have no clue, would be completely lost in chess. And if he did lose, if he did know how to play a game of chess and did lose, I'm sure it would be fake news. I'm sure that there would be some sort of move that we did that was illegal and that only he knew that we broke the rules. So That's what we're up against, folks. That is the type of rhetoric that we're going to be facing from here on out with MAGA. And we see this rhetoric bleed over into all walks of life. We see people now dodging accountability, dodging responsibility, pulling up articles online that they think, fits their agenda. Just because you find an article online that says you were right does not mean that you were right. There is somebody writing articles for everything. If you think Donald Trump is the greatest president of all time, there is all sorts of websites out there that can tell you that he is, that can reinforce that belief, but it doesn't make it true. And we see it so much with people these days who are, Kari Lake's doing it, people in small town politics are doing it. They're latching onto this new brand of politics, which is no accountability at all. And if you say something loud enough, if you shout it loud enough, you're the winner. You're not. No matter how many times me and that girl shouted Boonville at that teacher, Boonville, Kentucky was never going to be the capital of Kentucky, and it never will be. In no world is it going to be, unless something was to drastically change and say the capital somehow got moved there. Can't see it happening. But if that ever happened, then we would be right. But that would not mean that we was right at the time we said it. That's something else I want to talk about. People will say, I was silenced for misinformation, and it came out to be true later on. That's because the evidence we had in front of us at that particular time didn't go with what you were saying. So if one day they move the capital of Kentucky to Boonville, it's not going to make me and that girl right in 1988. It's not going to make us right back then. Okay, we can say, yeah, they did it now, see? But we can't say, see, I told you so, because that's not how things work. But that's how MAGA Republicans say it works, and they're going to continue to thump their chest. They're going to continue to knock all the pieces over on the chessboard. They're going to continue to shit all over everything, and they're going to continue to act like they won. That's what we're up against. But folks, be sure to hit that subscribe button here on MeidasTouch. I say it all the time. Our democracy has never been on the line more than it is right now. Everybody needs to get their voices out there. Everybody needs to be heard. And we need to continue to combat and fight this insanity that is coming from MAGA, and that's what we'll continue to do here. So until next time, I'm Tennessee Brando. You guys keep tuning in, and I'll keep telling you the truth.
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.